United are scoring.
And it's exactly the point that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer chose to make in a pre-match press conference. He said, look, we have to spend money to compete. I mean, this lays it bare. In the 2 games they've played out there, they've created 33 chances. They've scored 2 penalties.
It does, you know, but listen, I can't go on it. I still think, when you look at what United have done in the last 6 months with that top 3, you know, they've competed with Liverpool's top 3, scored more goals than Liverpool's top 3, Manchester City's top 3. These are clear-cut chances that we've been talking about. These are chances from 4 or 5 yards. If Sancho's there, does he score? I don't know. But Sancho's not an out-and-out striker. You know, there's no excuse for what we've seen today. United, you know, in a way, deserved to win. As Scholes said, they were, you know, exhilarating in the first 15 minutes of the second half. And I said to you before, it's about being ruthless. It's about taking the chances when they come. They could have been 3 or 4 and up, and the game was dead and buried. Credit to Sevilla, they're hanging there, rode the luck, and nicked it at the end. But, you know, if I'm sitting there as a player in that change room now, I'm absolutely devastated because that's a game that we should have won within 60 minutes of the game.
We must say as well, Jack, their keeper's brilliant.
Yeah.
He made, I know you can argue about the finish, and coach you can, but at times he made some really good saves. So especially one-on-one, I thought he was brilliant.
Yeah, Bono had the edge over United. Owen, let's come to you. The lads in here are both making the point that really United had the opportunities, they didn't take them. Sevilla doing what they do so well in this competition. How do you reflect on that frustrating 90 minutes of football?
Yeah, I think frustration really will be the end thing for United and the fans and the players. I'm with Scholesy. I thought they played pretty good. Goalkeeper had a worldie again. United, you know, had some finishing moments where they just didn't take. And I thought Sevilla showed some real character, really, to defend and throw bodies in front of challenges. That spell, I thought for the 10 or 15 minutes at the start of the second half, I thought Man United were unbelievable. You know, dominated possession. Even though Sevilla had more in the game, that was class. And they just needed to take the chances. As Incy said, they didn't. And I think Sevilla started to grow more in confidence. And again, you know, we saw with Pep, he spoke about both boxes. Raheem Sterling missed his chance to concede on the other end. You know, United don't take their chances. A bit of lax marking from Lindelof. And they concede a goal when it didn't look like they concede. So I think disappointment really for United. But I think all in all, they've had a good season. But to lose 3 semi-finals is... they got to work on that. You know, you can't lose 3 semi-finals in one season.
Yeah, I agree with all that. As much as United deserved to win and played really good football at times, they were the better team. There's no doubt about it, they're the better team. You have to say the second goal, the defensive part of that goal was shocking. Lindelof and Maguire, both out past the near post. There's one centre forward. Lindelof has to see him. And then Wan-Bissaka as well has to try and cover for him if he don't think he sees him. But surely Lindelof as a centre half, he's got his centre forward. He's got to be looking at him. His body angle's all wrong. And if they avoid that, then I think they will go and score a goal because Sevilla they looked tired to me. Yeah. They didn't look like they were going to create a chance other than that one.
We saw what Bruno Fernandes thought of that defending. Is it quality? Is it spending money? Is it still a good season for Manchester United? What does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer think? All of that is still to come. We're going to stay exactly where we are. We're going to get some reaction from out in Germany as well. But let me just remind you, not only is the other semi-final in the Europa League coming your way tomorrow evening, we've also got both the semi-finals from the Champions League as well. Leipzig up against Paris Saint-Germain Tuesday from 7 o'clock. Lyon against that brilliant Bayern Munich team Wednesday evening at 7. Both of them here on BT Sport 1 and BT Sport Ultimate. Then later. You're right, mate.
Yeah, good.
Sorry. That was all too much for you for a second. Look, during the outbreak, all 3 of you were busy talking about the goal that won it for Sevilla. Let's just do that on air, I suppose, for people at home to hear the conversation you were having. Who wants to kick us off?
Scholes, you seem quite irate about it, so...
I think we all were, weren't we?
Yeah.
Look, there's a lot wrong with the goal. You can almost blame the full back 4 for this goal. Firstly, Williams doesn't get to the ball. Where Maguire is, I'm not too sure. He has to drop in, surely. Lindelof, he's the man with the sense. I know Wan-Bissaka can see him now, but Lindelof had a look there. He drops, he looks at his man. He's got to defend the middle of his goals. He's the centre half. He has got to defend.
I get
he's
that.
Past his front post.
I get that. Both 2 centre halves are past the front, but Wan-Bissaka can see that the back of Lindelof's number, so he knows he can't.
Gets the cross in.
Body angle is all wrong.
It's completely wrong. It's correct, but Wan-Bissaka as a full-back's got to be covering inside the striker anyway, so he's in line with him. What he does, once Luke de Jong scores, look where Wan-Bissaka is now. He's not even gone with him. He's not even stayed with him, look.
I agree, he's a little bit at fault. I'd say Probably in
They're all at full.
25%, Lindelof 75%. When Lindelof's running back in, he had a quick look at him. So he knew exactly where he was. But then he puts his head down and doesn't look, and by that time, it's too late.
If I'm a fullback, and I've played fullback a few times for United, and my centre-half can't see where his man is, and he's standing right in front of me, the first thing I'm doing is staying with him.
I know,
I'm not
exactly
coming
what
away
you're saying,
from goal.
but how can your centre-half not see where your centre-forward is?
It's error after error. Scholes,
yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
I said it's that. You can blame the full-back four. But for me, Lindelof is the biggest problem.
It looks twice. Look, Scholes, you watch it look. It looks again now.
Yeah, that's that look.
Then he gets caught square.
Yeah.
Now you can't see him.
Yeah. And he has to drop into the 6-yard line, and at least he's facing him then.
But Wan-Bissaka can. Look at Wan-Bissaka. He's probably half a yard away from Luke de Jong.
Yeah, well, Wan-Bissaka, he almost has to anticipate that his centre-half is going to make a mistake.
But he can,
and that's what good defenders do, don't get me wrong. But Lindelof for me. And Maguire, well, where is Maguire? Well, what's he doing? There's nobody there. It's one person against three, and that one person. And do you know what? It's a good ball in.
Yeah.
But terrible defending.
But you've got block crosses. We talk about fullbacks.
Yeah.
Block crosses. You know where Navis is going to go. He's all right foot.
We've said all four. It's all four of them for against against two people.
Got to block the cross.
I mean, I know it's hard when you're at home and you're not in the studio. What do you think?
You know what? They're all right. Bruno Fernandes is right. Scholes is right. And Inti are right. Everybody's involved in it. Brandon Williams needs to stop the cross. If we go back to the goal there, when the ball goes wide to Brandon Williams, and we can just pause it real quick, it's actually 4v2. There's no danger. It's 4v2. So basically there shouldn't be any problem there. If you pause it there, it's 4v2. And Scholes is right. Maguire's not marking anyone. He's crossing. He needs to be inside his goal, basically. And Lindelof, that's where they should be. They're not. Wan-Bissaka does well to compensate because he realises they're in trouble. Lindelof's got to check his shoulder. He needs to be 2 yards deeper. But I agree with Insi in the fact that once Wan-Bissaka, he can see the whole thing. He knows Lindelof's in trouble. The ball is fabulous. The finish is fabulous. But when you're a team, you have to cover people's mistakes. And Bruno Fernandes is right because he knows that changed them winning potentially a European title. So frustration on behalf of the players because they care. But if they want to win a European title, they've got to take the chances. And you can't concede a goal when it's 4v2 at the back. You can't. Scholes is right. Everybody's involved in that goal. And I think all they'll just be disappointed that they didn't deal with it.
So much talk about Jadon Sancho. Paul, you mentioned Jadon Sancho bang on the full-time whistle. Do any of you think, though, that defensive reinforcements are the single most important thing this United team need?
I think they could do with centre-half. I've said that all along. I'm not sure Lindelof's going to be good enough for a partner as Maguire. I think they need a more dominant defender next to him. I think defensively, the full-backs are OK. On the ball, you'd have to question. But I think defensively, they're OK. So, yeah, look, Lindelof's all right. Do you know what? The defensive record over the last 15, 20 games, whatever it has been very good. Probably one of the best in the league. So you have to take that into respect as well. But I still think a dominant centre-half next to Maguire just to cover for the slight weaknesses he has. Yeah,
and you mentioned that word again, and you talk about that word weaknesses, and you always know whether you play buy-in now or Lindelof. They're always kind of prone to these kind of weaknesses. If that was Liverpool, that wouldn't have happened tonight. It wouldn't have happened. You know what I mean? That wouldn't have happened.
From a quality perspective.
From a defensive point of view, we kind of think about...
Well, the forwards would have scored as well.
Yeah, for sure. But we kind of always think about it's all about offensive plan X, Y and Z. Not a lot of managers do a lot of defensive play, and how you should be from there. And Scholes is right. Two centre-halves should never go past the near post. Wan-Bissaka has to deal with it. Well, whatever happened, he has to deal with it. If that had been going there, well, he would have dealt with that. That's what I'm saying to you. Yeah. But they are short. Williams is still young, got a lot to learn, but I like him. Wan-Bissaka, offensively, does he go forward enough? Does he create enough? Is he the modern-day full-back? He's more of the defensive one. What did Fred do in the game again today? When you see much from Pogba, is that right position against him, holding alongside Fred, doesn't suit him? How many times did he get in the box? We saw Pogba a year ago scoring goals. Didn't even see him in the box tonight. So there's a lot of questions, to be answered in that squad.
Yeah, do you know what? I think the defensive and giving the goals away is a little bit irrelevant when you look at the chances United created. Yeah. It's hard again to say so wastefully in front of goal, but the keeper was brilliant. You think the game the other night as well, the keeper was brilliant. I know, and that's why you have to go that extra mile or pay that extra money for a top-class centre-forward, a top-class wide player who win your game of football. wins you games of football.
Do you think that's required then? Because we've spent the last 2 games ahead of these matches talking about that dynamic front three. They've not scored a goal from open play.
I think these front three are brilliant.
Yeah.
They're really, really good. Are they that real top level where you're going to go on to win leagues, to win trophies? I don't know. They've got that to prove. But I think when you look at the stats last 2 games, you just said there 33 chances, 2 penalties. That tells you, in talking semi-finals, quarter-finals, where Paul said before the game you need 7, 8 out of 10 to win these games. Centre forwards, when they get chances like that, to get the 7, 8 out of 10, they need to win your games of football.
OK, well, I'll tell you what, let's talk about life at the other end of the pitch. Harry Maguire is with Darryl. Let's get his reflections on this defeat for Manchester United.
Harry, you've only just come out of the dressing room. How hard is that to take?
Yeah, it's difficult. The boys are devastated in there. Created numerous amounts of chances. Got to win the game. The best team lost, and they've punished us for missing the chances. We've been ruthless at times this year, and today we wasn't.
It was such a good start to the game as well, and another penalty scored. Why did you feel that you let them back into it? What went wrong back there?
Maybe we started with a high press, we scored, and then we maybe let them out a bit too easy and had a little bit too much possession for our liking. They didn't create many chances, if we're being honest. It's a ball in the box. Obviously, they've worked it well down our right. We've got to do better. We'll look at it and we've got to improve. We've conceded from 2 crosses. It's not good enough. But we worked our socks off out there. We deserved to win the game. We deserved to go through. But ultimately, we fell short at a semi-final the 3rd time this year, so it's disappointing.
After their second goal, it did look like there was a bit of an inquest out in the pitch, a bit of an argument going on. Is it understandable tensions were that high at that moment?
Well, for sure. It means a lot to us. The boys in there are devastated. We've got a good group of lads. We know what it means to play for this club. Losing isn't acceptable. Getting to semi-finals isn't acceptable. We've got to now really concentrate on taking it further, taking another step. The improvement we've made this year is massive. You've probably seen again tonight. We played a good Seville team and we've dominated the game. On another day, we win the game comfortably, and everyone goes on about how well we've played. There's areas where we can improve. We know that. We need to get better. Like I said, losing isn't acceptable for this club. We've finished 3rd in the Premier League, and people will say it's a good season, but do we want to finish 3rd next season? No, for sure.
A lot of people did say that this United team had to win silverware to prove that they were developing. Regardless, as you've just said there, obviously I feel your disappointment, but do you agree with them in some ways? It has to happen sooner rather than later. It's been too long.
Well, for sure it will happen soon. So, yeah, obviously we want to win it as soon as possible. You've seen the talent on the pitch, the way that we've improved throughout the season. If we take another giant step next season, then we'll improve again. But no, it's disappointing. We want to win silverware. We've got to 3 semi-finals. Obviously, in the Carabao Cup, it was disappointing to lose the game, and then the FA Cup we didn't turn up. Tonight we've turned up. We deserve to win the game. The best team's lost, and maybe that little bit of inexperience has cost us in the end, because even though that we're on top and we're creating chances, we shouldn't concede the second goal.
Thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you.